Right, a bit of a different look today. I can't see any of the people that I'm dealing with in the flesh right now, but I've got one R. Dahl on a screen in front of me, and I've got one J. Alice behind a screen, so I don't even know if he's awake.
No, I'm awake.
Are you there?
Yeah, hey, mate.
How you going, mate? Yeah, good to see you.
Good, mate.
I can't
good
see
to
you.
not see you, mate.
So we've got a bit of I'm in a blue chair. That's different too. What happened to our couches, Jaden?
Do you like the blue chair?
The blue chair is quite upright, and I don't feel like I'm fully relaxed into what this podcast should be. But
No. We needed to keep you awake. I think was the main thing.
It has been a solid day, but what hasn't changed is... Sorry, Ronnie?
What room are you in?
Same room.
Oh.
Can you actually...
Okay.
Can I get... How do I get more sound out of Ronnie there, Jaden?
I've just turned him up there, mate.
Oh, thank you. I would have
kept
talking over you.
I know you want to hear him.
What hasn't changed is that was music by the Southern River Band with Let It Ride, the 4 Drive Podcast. We're still on Instagram at the 4 Drive Podcast. All the episodes over on BackChat's YouTube. Patrons, thank you for your support. If you want to check that out, patreon.com/the 4 Drive Podcast. What was that? Ronnie's head turned into a jar of jam. And merch, voice messages, and the ultimate 4 Drive over at the 4 Drive podcast.com.au. Boys, I want to get right off the bat and into it because I feel like this could back and forth for a while and not go too well while we're dealing with some technical difficulties. But Ronnie, just give us a little bit of a background. Where are you, mate? Because I think you're at the headquarters.
Yeah, I'm at the headquarters. This is my little recording space. So, yeah, it's just really busy today. So just doing a bit of green screening off to the side. I mean, everything's green screen, right? I just have like the panels of the car and just pretend I'm driving everywhere.
Yep.
And then, we set up the swag over here. Don't have to change any angles.
I've actually got a quick question about your green screen because I was watching your latest video just yesterday, actually, the one from Sunday, the 76 v the INEOS sort of style video. And talk to me when you're doing a green screen and you do the waltz into the green screen and with the background on and you start talking to the camera, like what's going through your head when you're in that moment by yourself, recording yourself, thinking about what you're going to say yourself. Like how do you get that waltz going to make it look so natural? I was like, he's talking to himself here.
Well, look, I don't do too much movement while I'm in the green screen.
Yeah.
It's so a lot of that was actually shot out there.
Right.
But some of the pieces I'm inside, but I must do such a good job you can't tell.
Well, I know when you're on the green screen, but you waltz in like it's sort of just you've just walked into the pub, like, and then you just start chatting away. I found it interesting when I was watching it yesterday. I was like, I wonder what he's actually thinking about here. How many takes does it take to walk into a green screen?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sometimes, well, that's a good thing. Like, if I stuff a take up, I just go do it again,
Yeah.
I generally use it for when I've got to get some information right, and that's like, we got like long numbers or something complex I'm talking about. Often saying it off the cuff, it's pretty easy to get things wrong or misinterpreted or you don't have the context. So I like to shoot everything out there, but also shoot other bits in here so I can break up the content.
Yep.
Because often when you're talking about, say, a lot of stuff about tyres, but then all of a sudden there's like a little side story to the tyre, it's good to cut to something else.
Yep.
And then the viewer understands that now we're moved to something else.
Yep.
And then I just find it easy to watch. Like my old style, I used to fall asleep to myself.
I
wouldn't say that, mate.
No, I wouldn't say that either, mate. You build a loyal following doing that.
I'm just comparing it to the stuff I do now. Yeah.
I do enjoy the art of a green screen, though. Very, very interesting.
Don't look over here.
It can be
mate.
fun, yeah. It can be quite fun.
All right, staying on your... staying with you. Tough dog tip of the week, mate. Right off the bat, what have you got for us? And then I've got a couple of more questions about your situation right there because I see a few things I like.
Okay. So tough dog tip of the week this week will be know your fuel range down to within 5 litres. And what I mean by saying that is everyone has a gauge in their car, but we all change our tyres, we all change, put roof racks and stuff in our car. So it kind of throws the fuel economy out of whack, and then you're kind of not sure where you're at. And people that put extended long-range tanks in their vehicle, well, the gauge isn't going to work the way it used to. So you probably have a good idea of what fuel economy you have if you've owned a car for, say, 4 or 5 years and you've done some big trips and you've driven on sand, all the different terrain, you kind of understand how much your car's going to burn without even thinking about it. But as soon as you put that tank in, you have no idea where the hell you're at. And with an extended tank, sometimes that could be twice the fuel capacity that you used to have, so you're filling up less than half the time, which means it takes a lot longer to get used to how much fuel do I actually have. So yes, you got more fuel than you had before, but it's not going to help your fuel anxiety when you're in the middle of nowhere and you're like, shit, I don't actually know how much more I have after my fuel lights come on. You know, so an example, the 76 series, once that fuel light comes on, I've got 100 Ks, at least 100 Ks left in that tank. Now that I've got an extended long range fuel tank, I've got no fucking idea. So I've got to figure out what that is. And the best way to figure this out, this is where the tip comes in. You drive until you're at a quarter, and then the first servo you get to, fill it up. Calculate how much that was, subtract from the rest, you know how much you have at a quarter. And then do it again at, say, 3/4, and then another time you might be at half. Once you've done that, you've collected all the data, and now you know. So now we're in the middle of nowhere, regardless of how much fuel you're burning extra, at least you know how many litres you got left.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much down to 5 litres.
Yep.
And you just won't be anxious about fuel anymore.
I like it. On fuel, actually, I mentioned last week that I cannot, or did I mention it in our chat?
Yeah, I think it was in the chat.
In the chat, so I didn't say this on air, but I
And to the patrons.
I haven't been able to get. Oh, that's weird because Rafa mentioned it. I haven't been able to get it below 11 litres per 100. In the new 79. 3 days after I mentioned that, 10.9. So I'm down under 11.
Oh, really?
Which is almost, I think, what the factory the factory number is potentially. Maybe it's.
I think the factory number is.
Is it 9 something?
Yeah, it's bullshit though.
Yeah.
That's,
Because I'm going granny style around, and I've got it under 11, which I was real happy with. Sent it to Jaden because we were talking at the time. I was like, look at this, got it there. But I know that's going to as Rafa said, that ain't going to last long. As soon as you put a bloody an aerial on it, it's going to go back up to 13. So adding my tyres, bars, all that stuff, it's going to go downhill. But I need to figure that out. I need to figure out my fuel range too, because I've only done about 2,000 kilometres in the car as it is. No off-roading just of yet. So I've got some testing to do myself actually. So I'm glad you've said that.
Well, you're pretty close.
Yeah, when the fuel light comes on, you should have
the 10.7 litres per 100 in the V8 is what it's claimed.
Okay.
10.7. So you were pretty close.
That's good.
I think what you sent me was 10.8?
10.9.
10.9.
Working on it though.
Yeah, you're close.
Can I get to 10.7 before I throw some gear on it?
If you do, send me a video.
Okay, I'll prove it.
It's so funny how they do that.
What do you reckon, Ronny?
Yeah.
You reckon you can get there?
Nah. Nah. Well, okay. If you drive at a slight decline all the way home from somewhere, and you filled up at the top of the hill and you go home, or you put it on a tilt tray while it's idling, then you'll probably get.
Could be a serious detour just to stay downhill the whole way home. Really have to think out the route that I'm taking.
Who's the more aggressive driver between you and Lauren?
Yeah, that's myself. Yeah.
Maybe let Lauren drive it for a bit, mate.
Well, that's the thing. There was, at one stage, 2 people in our household that couldn't drive manuals, but now 1 can. You're looking at him.
You're looking at him.
So,
the guy.
But anyway.
There are two styles of aggressive driving too, though.
I would say that there are multiple levels of aggressive driving. Ever been to Melbourne?
There's road raging and then there's the driving.
Yeah, true. There is aggressive outside the car and there's aggressive inside the car. Just quickly, Ronny, I feel like I'm watching a live show, like a live YouTube drop of Ardal.
I got to tell you, it's really funny looking at you from my perspective, looking at Ronny from your perspective.
There's so much going on right now, but I feel like Ronny's like breaking down the INEOS versus 76 to his viewers, but all of a sudden he's talking back to me. And also the things that I wanted to ask, what are you doing with that bull bar behind you?
Oh well, yeah, that one. I'll probably need to sell it actually. Yeah. I want to extend my studio a little bit.
What's it fit? What's that off?
It's off a 79 actually. Yeah.
Kind of know.
You just see the mounting brackets.
Kind of know a guy. But would it fit the facelift?
Oh, probably not.
Nah.
No.
I've actually been in contact with ARB, Just doing up a quote at the moment. I love that AR. Love that ARB bar. I love it. Why are you filming me for? Stop. Hey, this is all on camera. We've got these professional setup here, mate.
Such a weird question to ask while I'm filming you,
They
mate.
definitely have a better looking bar than the first one I had for the facelift. So the first one I had for the facelift, they just adjusted the old one to make it
The old
fit.
Summit.
Yeah, obviously to get in early.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah.
But the new one definitely looks a lot better.
It's mint. The new Summit.
Chris has got that actually, hasn't he? Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I know. Because I know where he lives.
Know where he lives. Been around out the front of his house, 2 a.m. in the morning on my run.
Have you spoken to Chris about this? Does he know about this?
Well, I think I mentioned that, yeah.
Is he still there?
No,
Okay.
he's gone. I've kicked them all out.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, now that you've got some free space, let's go to On the Radar. Now, Jaden has very, very kindly put this together for us, and it's the new cars on the radar, which is, I think, how On the Radar sort of started.
Yeah.
It was around new cars.
New car radar.
And we
We
probably...
haven't had new cars for a while.
We haven't, no. So that's why it's a bit of a topic that we probably should cover. Now, I feel like letting Jaden do this because it's his little baby, and I'm struggling to pick up where.
How about I'll run you through what's going on here.
I'm not sure which one breaks apart what. Oh yeah, I see now.
You're fine. You've
I got
it.
I got you.
How many have we got?
We've got two. Number one, Toyota Tundra, and number two,
Oh, yeah.
Kia Tasman. Now the Tundra struck me because of the price of it. Do you guys know the price of the Tundra?
I do.
You would
I
have
did.
been looking at it. Let's have a guess. Duggo. Actually, Ronny, you start first, mate. Whoever gets closest to the actual drive away price that Toyota's given me, you can win a prize.
Actually, I have no idea. I'm gonna say 150. No, that'd be more than that. I'm gonna say 180.
Oh, you've got the price
I'm
in
going to
front of
say
you.
169, 579.
Wow. How'd you get it, mate? You got it spot on.
$169,579.
Yeah, okay. You get a prize.
Drive away.
You get a brand new Toyota Tundra that you have to pay for. So the Toyota Tundra, it's a 3.5 litre twin turbo V6, 326 kilowatts of power, 790 newton meters of torque. It's it's originally a US vehicle that's been converted over here for a Australian market.
Yep.
So it's got a lot of the parts on it that a 300 series over here will have.
That's why we're paying more for it, because it's got to go to Walkinshaw to get converted.
Yeah, exactly. So the interesting thing that I found from this was that allegedly, if you switch to 98 octane fuel, you increase the power from 326 kilowatts to 341 kilowatts.
What does it recommend you put in it?
Not sure. That's a good question. Should have thought of that.
No.
I would say 91.
Yeah, it would take 91.
I would say you'd probably take 91 in that. Same
big's
as
the
most
tank?
petrols.
The tank. Let me just get that up.
Let me just get that up. 100 and... Ooh.
You found that fast if you're there. I looked at these for a second when I was picking a car.
It's 170 litres, I think.
170 litres. Because I just, that price point was just ridiculous for me. I just could not fathom. Like the Rams were maybe 140 and the Silverados maybe around the same, but brand new, close to drive away.
That's because they don't have to go to
122 litres, sorry boys.
Not much.
So the Rams, they're made right-hand drive for us
Yeah.
by whoever makes them. Whereas, they're bringing in the American spec Tundras, so they're going to have to convert them to a right-hand drive.
Yep.
And that extra cost is where it comes in. That's why these American trucks all used to be really expensive, because they had to convert them all.
Yep. It's interesting as well, like a towing capacity of 4.5 tonne, payload of 758 kilos, and then the actual vehicle weight itself is 3,536 kilos. It's like, I feel like it's a bit all over the shop, eh?
Mm.
It's definitely a reduced payload, but isn't there a way to? I thought they released the thing so you can actually, uprate it. They just up the rate on it, but you need an MR license for it.
Oh, okay.
Because then I can call it a 4.5. Was there something like that, Jaden?
I'm not sure about. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Or was that on the new Ford
That might have been the new Ford.
that we were talking about? The
Okay.
But you
Super
don't
Duty
actually need an MR
Ranger.
license for them. It's only if it's
Right.
over 4.5 ton, I think. Because it's 4.5 ton, it's fine.
Yeah, but that's what I thought they were going to bring it to, was over 4.5 ton.
Nah, so they've
Because
kept
then
it. They've kept it right on it, so you can drive that fine, no worries. Without having an MR.
It kind of seems pointless, that car then. You can get a 79 series dual cab ute, and that's going to have 300 kilos almost more payload than the Tundra. And you could then, if you wanted to, upgrade the GVM on that as well, and then you could almost have 1.5 tons on the back of the bloody thing. It's almost double what it will be double what the Tundra can even
and
hold.
for the size of that vehicle too, like to not be able to actually utilise the back of it.
Yeah, I mean the brake towing capacity on a 70 series is 3.5 ton, so you're getting a full ton less in the 70 series than you are in the Tundra.
In towing, yeah.
In towing, yeah.
In towing. But, and the Tundra would be a better car for towing because
10-speed
it
auto.
it weighs more, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, what was the curb weight? Was it 3.1 or something?
Curb weight's
3.5.
Oh, that's gross vehicle weight.
sorry,
Curb
the
weight's
curb
2.8,
weight's 2.7.
just under 2.8.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty light. Lighter than I thought. It's not really light, but it's lighter than I thought.
It's a no from me for a Tundra. They would be awesome, but I just
Same.
cannot fathom spending $170,000 on it.
Yeah.
To just
And not actually getting the value out of it.
well, yeah.
I mean, if you're towing, it's a pretty good car for you. You get double
Specifically
the
for
power
towing.
than a 70 series.
It's one of the ones you're picking if you're touring Australia, I reckon, for
And
a
double
lap.
the
I
torque.
don't know if I'm picking it to, you're not picking it to hit the tracks and drive around town.
No, it's a specific market, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, yep. What's your next one?
Kia Tasman. So that is a car that's coming out soon. The Toyota Tundra has been released. That was in November of 24, so it's a little bit out, but it's a new car in 25.
Yeah, there's a few around now.
Yeah, so Kia Tasman, we watched the ad for that last week.
The
Not
wannabe V8.
Yeah, the wannabe V8. Exactly right. Now, the Kia Tasman's priced between $41,100 and $57,500. This is from car sales based on the Korean version of the Kia Tasman's prices. So that's the price in Korea.
So it's adjusted.
That's been adjusted to Australian, right?
Dollar, yeah.
Kia Tasman, 2.2 litre turbo diesel engine, 154 kilowatts of power and 440 newton meters of torque. Now, the thing I wanted to do with the Kia Tasman was compare it to other utes you could get out here. So I've picked two of the most popular utes in Australia, Toyota Hilux. So we've got the Workmate starting at $57,000 and the SR dual cab pickup starting at $53,000. And we got the Ford Ranger XLT, which is a little bit more expensive, coming in at $63,000. And this is a 2025 model.
That's the 2 litre.
Yeah, the 2 litre turbo diesel.
Yeah.
So I've tried to keep it to a similar kind of engine. So the Hilux Workmate, 2.4 litre turbo diesel, pulls in 110 kilowatts of power and 400 newton meters of torque, so less than the Kia Tasman. It also has less tub space than the Kia Tasman. So the Kia Tasman's claiming to have one of the biggest, largest tub spaces per literage and size on the market. The only thing I could find that beats it is the BYD Shark, I think it is, that's coming out. Yeah. So that's the only thing that will really beat the Tasman allegedly in tub size.
On paper.
On paper. Exactly right. On paper. So the Workmate gets you less power, less torque for more money. The SR dual cab is a 2.8 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel. That gives you 150 kilowatts of power and 420 newton meters of torque. So
still less.
Similar to the Tasman, very similar to the Tasman, but less.
The Range is the only thing more powerful than the Tasman in that category.
Yeah, and that's the XLT version.
Yeah, and that's the 2 litre bi-turbo.
Yep.
10, yeah.
Yeah.
All have 80 litre fuel tanks. I mean, the Kia Tasman, I like the look of it. Like, I'm not off
I can't stand the look.
Really? I'm not off the look of it at the moment. I don't know if I was earlier, but I didn't hate it looking at it in last week's episode.
Because it looks like a Ranger, isn't it?
Nah, I don't know. I'm only off it because they put that sound in it. It's not the Utes' fault. They did make the ad. You know what I mean?
Oh, the Ute's not a person, mate.
Nah, but probably got some sort of AI system that create its own ad. I don't know, but I'm not off the Tasman at all. No. I think it could be. It's if it actually is starting at $41,000, that is a big that's a big thing to have a Ute. Obviously, the specs on that would be, well, you know, the interior specs and all that might be a little bit less than what you're going to pay at the top end of them, but it's a pretty good entry into a Ute.
It's pretty insane they're going that low in price.
Yeah, if it comes out, like obviously this is adjusted from the Korean prices, so I honestly can't see it being that cheap.
No. You just wouldn't be able to. Like, just even the freight alone to get it down here.
But even if
it's going to add a lot.
If it's the same price as a Hilux or a Ranger or Mahindra or something, you know, like it's just going to... No one's going to buy it.
They're going to have to start.
You have to start
lower. A mate of mine has just bought a BT50 brand new base model for around the 50 mark, give or take. I can't remember exactly. Like base model BT50, reputable brand, good car, been around a long time. You're going to have to come in. Base model's going to have to come in under there.
Yep.
That was a brand new vehicle too.
Yeah. So the Kia probably be around the same price as BT50.
Kia's brand is... As a whole, as a car manufacturer, they are right up there.
One of the largest.
They're probably the most popular in them. They are the most popular at the moment, aren't they, in Australia?
On
sales
in terms
wise,
of like all cars.
Yeah, all cars. Yeah.
Into like four-wheel drive specifically, I think the Ranger is the top at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Followed by the Hilux.
It's interesting though. I'm excited to see how the Kia Tasman goes. The Tundra, not so much, but I think there's obviously going to be a small niche market for them. But the Kia Tasman, I'm excited to see how it goes. BYD Sharks, seeing heaps of them on the road. Not heaps, but like I'm seeing them.
You've seen like
I'm seeing
two.
Them.
You've seen the same one twice.
The interesting with the Kia Tasman, if it I don't know, gets killed in action.
Yeah, I didn't really like how Kia is that. Hey. Because I thought
that?
Like the KIA, it just when you break it down, I was just like, that's weird. Anyway,
what does it stand for?
Kia. Don't know.
It's a good one.
Korean innovative automotive. I don't know.
Wow.
Kia derives from Hanja, which means to arise.
To arise.
So basically it's roughly translated to rising from Asia.
Oh.
So it's got like Kia derives from ki, to arise, and which stands for Asia. So
yeah, righto.
Rising from Asia.
There you go.
Who would have guessed it?
So very much the opposite to
I wouldn't have
KIA.
Very much the opposite.
Let us know what cars you guys would like to see us have a look at next. Good point, Jaden. That is, I read that like I was just reading that in my mind.
That
I read
that was
it out
for
loud.
you, mate, not for the people, but also for the people.
But we have to tell them because we don't know.
Very robotic.
We don't have a lot of time to do a lot of research
more
on
organic.
this. Actually, how are you going with your Isuzu MPS research there, Ronnie? Remember last week's challenge? Not well, I can see.
My homework.
The cat ate my homework.
And how are you going with your D-Max, mate?
I have been thinking about it and thinking about because I don't want to just read off a sheet. So I've been thinking about who I'm actually going to access to talk about the D-Max with. I don't know if I'll be able to get myself in one in the near future.
If anyone can, it'd be you or Ronnie.
Probably going to say Ronnie will have much more of a chance at that.
Yeah, I might be able to get into the MPS. So
get me in there with you because I'm keen to check that out.
Mate, cool. You got yourself into an INEOS. You could get yourself into a D-Max.
Yeah, but I don't know anyone.
I
don't know anyone
way
close
in
by.
For an INEOS test drive.
I know some D-Maxes around the place, but not close by.
Yeah, but just go to Isuzu.
Do your homework. Thanks, Ronnie. I'll be checking next week. All right, ultimate four-wheel drive. Let's crack into it. I am going to read through this quickly, and Ronnie, you're going to explain it to me in layman terms because I don't understand a lot of the things on this ultimate four-wheel drive, and I haven't seen the photos yet. So, Noah Pilati has sent in his 2011 Nissan GU Patrol. It's a 3-litre common rail ZD30. Spending budget at $40,000. His purpose is a daily capable for off-road tracks. It gives me the ability to have pretty much everything I need for touring and camping, so a real all-rounder. 3 things he loves about it: how smooth it crawls the harder tracks, it looks mint, and he can take it anywhere. 3 things he doesn't like: as heavy as Shaq himself, rising EGTs on steep highway hills, doesn't have an M57 conversion yet. You'll have to explain that to me, Ronnie. And not a fun daily in peak Melbourne traffic. Anything else we should know? He's bought it already decently modified and has just been adding to it as he goes. So his mods are a 3-inch lift kit, Dobinson's, Dirty Life 14, Neg 14 beadlocks with Maxxis Razor MTs, Stage 1 tune, AVM hubs, Harrop E-locker at the front, adjustable drag link, and front rear they're pan hards, aren't they? Pan heads? Pan hards. Yeah. Single mass flywheel conversion, plus a HD clutch, drop boxes, positive 11mm lower control trailing arms, bull bar and winch, rear bar, UHF, Polaris head unit, in-cab winch controls, EVC throttle controller, 3 batteries, 2 AGMs and 1 slimline lithium for 12-volt system in the rear, the DC-DC charger from Red Arc, stainless snorkel, Legend X rock sliders, mounted chair and 270-degree awning, and a 3-inch exhaust. Was wondering if you guys would recommend going for a larger centered hood scoop. I was going to say that backwards. Centered hood scoop and larger intercooler to help reduce EGTs. With all the extra weight, the EGTs climb quite drastically with extra passengers and camping gear when going up hills. I've been stuck in 3rd gear doing 50 in a 100 zone, headed to Blackwood. Ooh. Now, I think that Noah might be hanging around the area that I grew up in, actually, if he's heading up to Blackwood and from Melbourne. That is...
Could be from Bacchus.
He would be so lucky. That would be far from home. But anyway, sounds like a genuine
Victoria, though?
rig. Oh well, he did say not fun daily in peak Melbourne traffic. So
yeah, it must be.
And Blackwood's a bit of a spot. Yeah, the Blackwood State Forest. You head out there, camping, tracks. It's all out there. Bit
of a wink, nudge, nudge spot.
It's not real. It's pretty popular without being like a Vic High Country sort of area or those sort of that sort of style. But there's a lot of people from Melbourne use it because it's not far away. So, anyway, EGTs, Ronnie. Any thoughts on the EGTs before we check out the car?
Yeah, well, exhaust gas temperatures. You definitely want to get them lower, and forced to sit at 50 in a 100 zone is not ideal. Going up hills and stuff.
In 3rd.
I'd definitely be working on the cooling for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
So he's asking about...
the engine's got a bad name as being the Grenade engine, but depending on what series it is, I've known of plenty that'll go around fine,
Yep.
It's just, if you ask a lot out of them, if you ask a lot out of any engine, eventually it's going to cough up something.
So with a larger intercooler, would you recommend that?
Yeah, it would definitely help. One with maybe fans on it.
Yep.
So even though he's reduced himself in speed, the fans can maybe kick in and help draw some air through. And
a centered hood scoop, a larger hood scoop, is that minimal?
I don't know if a hood scoop is going to do too much more. I know that some people do modification on some engine conversions where they open up a gap at the back of the bonnet. They'll make the gap slightly bigger.
Right.
But then sometimes that can also cause some kind of heat lock as well, where the heat gets trapped. So it's a bit technical trying to cool down all these vehicles. They're all a bit different, but an intercooler is definitely going to help. Maybe a front mounted one.
Yeah, righto. Yep. All right. Is there any way for me to see these photos actually, Jaden?
Yes. Is Ronnie looking at them now?
Have you got the photos up, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Yep, cool.
So it's a nice looking silver. Is it silver or white?
Nice looking car.
Yeah.
The M57 he's talking about is
explain that to me.
BMW engine.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying that there's no conversion for an M57 for the Patrol.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
There is an M57N. No, I don't know if that's that. I think that's the later... It's a newer version of the M57. So there's an M57N Patrol conversion kit.
I know the fella from 4Drive 24/7's put a BMW engine in his Patrol.
Yeah. Well, this one's for a ZD30 as well.
Right.
Which
He's
I
looking
don't know,
at
it might be
doing
worth
an
looking
engine
at there.
conversion.
I mean, I know they have different turbos, injectors, like ECUs and shit for it. So maybe there's something looking into there. It looks like they do it. So an M57N might be worth having a look at.
Yeah. I got to admit, these... Are you still there, Ronnie, by the way?
Yeah, Ronnie's there.
Yeah. Just clarify what motor's in
hang
it
on.
right now.
Hang on. Hello?
Hello.
Oh.
I can hear you.
Lost him when I brought the photo in.
Oh, we brought the photos up and we
That's
lost
all right.
you.
That's all right. Stand by.
Do you want to send them to
Yeah.
me and then I can look at them and you can throw them in later? But the first photo
You also-
looked wicked.
Yeah.
I love
You
those
also lost.
controls.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you go, mate.
Yeah. All good. No. The photo's awesome. Just clarify. Does it have the ZD30 in it now, or has it got has he done an engine conversion?
I don't.
Did I miss that?
No, I don't think
Nah,
he's done
I don't
an
think he
engine conversion. I
has.
think he's got the
Okay, but he's
ZD30
looking
in
at
it.
it.
Yeah.
He's just done.
Yeah,
He's had a stage 1 tune on it, so he's had the basic tune done.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, no engine conversion. But it sounds like the M57 would be something he'd be into if it was made available.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't push any more out of that engine.
There you go, Liam. Have a look.
Yeah, that's a beautiful car.
Weight's a bit of a killer, hey.
I actually love
that-
love the look of these patrols, like done up like that with all the gear, rear bar. It just like big muddies. I reckon they look unreal.
Yeah, they look
Stay
weird.
It's
no
the
small.
first one I've seen that's actually colour coded. You know, the bar's colour coded and the
Yeah.
whole car.
That's
it
tough.
looks really good.
I love.
It looks
I
better
love them.
than if the bull bar was black and all that. I don't know if it would look the same, you know?
Yeah,
It
I
actually-
agree.
Yeah, it's a bit like a 200. They look okay with colour coded bar, and many
Yeah.
cars don't. That one pulls it off.
Yeah, no, that is a very, very neat looking. Love P-plater too, just going for it.
And it's the first time I actually like a stainless steel snorkel in a car.
Really? You're not a big fan of the
Yeah.
stainless steel?
No, I'm not. I think they're just wank factor. But
Right.
it looks good on this
That's yeah,
I've been thinking of going the stainless steel.
you wanker.
Getting
Oh,
rid of the
mate.
Safari. Something about wanking.
I actually
car. Jerky stainless steel.
whether easy boys, whether
Something similar to a jack-off canopy, isn't it?
hey, where are your hands, Ronnie? By the way,
Where are yours, Duggo?
oh me up.
Where are mine?
No, you wouldn't want to be doing it, Jaden. I can see under there. There's a 270 out. I love this car. The only thing I will say about the bigger scoop on the bonnet is I think you could increase its tough look by making that scoop bigger.
Yeah. The biggest, but you get more air in it anyway, don't you?
Yeah, well, if it helps,
Just comes along.
helps 1 or 2% with that. But yeah, I reckon the look of a wider scoop on that could be really,
Tough.
But
it
if
could
you-
look really tough.
If you're doing an intercooler upgrade on that, it probably has to be a front mounted to get enough cooling for what he needs.
Yeah,
So there's not a lot. I mean, if he puts one on top, he might actually have to do something to the scoop. But
Yep.
if it's going on the front, he probably doesn't need the
doesn't
scoop.
need to.
further
That'd just
back.
purely be for looks, but yeah.
Do you think the spotty and the winch and the bar will reduce airflow getting in from the front mounted?
A
Yeah.
little bit.
Would the
Yeah,
top mounted
it-
work better
it
then?
would,
Like
yeah.
if you get something like a scoop like a 70 series, a bit wider, bit bigger, would that help to get more airflow in as a top mounted
Okay,
intercooler
yeah.
as opposed to the front mounted with the bar work and stuff?
Yeah,
If-
but what I would suggest though is for to take those spotties off and go drive up the same hill with the same amount of weight, and then you'll truly know if the spotties are really hindering it. Because on some vehicles, if you got heat issues, spotties is probably one of the things that is probably not helping you out. So you could replace those spotties with a light bar. Maybe the light bar could sit just underneath the bull bar. And there's some decent lights these days. I mean, I don't know how old those lights are, but if you look at lights a year ago or 2 years ago, well, they're so much better nowadays, you know. They're constantly upgrading LED chips and all that.
Yeah.
Also, with LEDs, they fade over time. So if you're using your LEDs a lot, they will actually diminish in quality over time.
Yeah, righto.
Just an FYI. Yeah.
Good tip. I actually I was keen to see the Legend X rock sliders as well, because I reckon they're pretty nice, and they are so seamless on the bottom of that car.
Yeah.
That is that's one of my favourites, I think.
I think every time we get one, they always look so good, don't they?
Yeah, well, just for looks.
These
This one
ultimate
for
full
looks
drives.
for me, like that's sick. I reckon that's unreal.
For a green P-plater,
Yeah,
I don't know if he's a green
there,
P-plater anymore or not, but that is unreal.
Yeah, I'm happy with that as an ultimate full drive.
Ronnie?
Yep. Yeah, it's got everything. Just got to be careful not to add too much more weight. I don't think there's much more you can add to it, though.
Mate, I'd buy that.
Yep.
Except for obviously the cooling temps and the...
Yeah, you don't want to be doing 50 and 100 zone, but...
Yeah, that's not ideal. If you can get an engine conversion,
but maybe it looks like a lot of...
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep. Well, Noah, thanks for sending that through, mate. Appreciate it. All right, moving forward now, Ronnie, we saw the 76 v the INEOS. I just blew a little bubble there. Now, basically I want to ask you what... I know you sort of you covered off-road, comfortable, like, you know, how comfortable are they on-road, off-road, capabilities, all of that. Is there anything that maybe you left out that you can throw in, or is there any further detail around any of the, you know, or why you've come to the decisions that you have? Like, explain, because I'm hoping the INEOS is still in, maybe because I haven't been talking about it as much, I don't feel like it's as big a deal at the moment, but I'm hoping that we still see heaps of these out on the roads, because I think just watching that video, I was like, oh, the INEOS, still, I wonder how it would have gone, you know, if I had gone that way, but I think they're a genuine competitor to each other, and very, very similar in ways.
Yeah, they are very similar in ways, but then also so very different as well. So I just have one of my lights run out of battery here. Hopefully, you still be able to see me.
You're right. Still look good, mate. Still look good.
It's an awesome vehicle. One of the things I did leave out was actually there's a few points we can touch on, because there was quite a few comments which I haven't answered, and this week video is not going to be answering those comments this time. So I'll do it here. And there was one thing I did leave out, and that was the fans, how noisy the fans were.
Yeah.
But I feel like I covered that enough in previous videos, and there's a few other things. One thing that people did talk about a lot was spare parts.
True.
How are you going to get spare parts out in the middle of nowhere, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it would definitely seem like other cars would be easy to get parts for, but it's only really older cars, right? Not like new cars. So, for example, the Prado 250, I know we're not comparing that, but that would be absolutely a pain to get parts for, which has been reported by a few people. I think Lil and Jake, they completely broke their front suspension because the bolt fell out, and they had to get stuff like air freighted from Japan. But I know someone else who's doing the Simpson Desert very soon in his 250 Prado, and we were having a short discussion about what spare parts he should bring with it. And it comes down to an 8-week order wait time from Japan.
Jeez.
So imagine you're out in the middle of nowhere, you break down, you got to wait 8 weeks. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is, let's look at the 76 series. It's a 2.8, so there should be plenty of parts around, but some things will definitely be different because it's a different arrangement in the engine bay. It's not like the Hilux. The Hilux is actually really neat laid out, but you look at the 76, there is shit going on everywhere. It's like, we've got all this room, let's fucking fill it, because the whole thing is full. There's more room in the V8, to be honest, the older version anyway. So there will definitely be some parts that are probably hard to obtain there as well, because, I mean, a car has been around for a year, but yeah, sure. If a leaf spring breaks, there's probably stuff you could get away with and keep moving. But at the end of the day, if you break down on a canning stock route, unless you have the part with you, you're still going to have to wait, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe. And that's providing the parts are, available in Australia, which they would likely be. So with INEOS, are parts available in Australia? Well, that's the conversation I had with them to start with before I started reaching out to these, to Shark Bay and these things, you know, because I did have that part anxiety, and it's probably what people are feeling as well about the INEOS. But what they said, like, I've got some stories from them from breakdowns of the INEOS Grenadier where things have gone wrong. Someone's done this or someone's done that or someone's smashed a windscreen. They really do go above and beyond, and that's because it's a smaller company.
Yep.
So with such a smaller company with only 2 vehicles in their fleet, it's an INEOS Grenadier, and then there's the Quartermaster. They don't have any other variants. Yeah, they do petrol and diesel, but most of the cars are the same.
Yep.
So what they said, and I'm pretty sure that would do it for anyone in the country. If someone needed spare parts out in the middle of nowhere, they have, I think it might have been 5 cars, but they got a handful of cars in Melbourne that I was told personally that they would even take parts off and send to them.
Yeah, right.
In case they needed it. And they did it, I think they did that to someone recently. There was like a crash. They had a crash and there was 30 parts that were needed, thereabouts. And I had all the parts here except for one, because one was X amount of time away. So I took it off another car and then got it there.
So you're saying they've got 5 cars basically just sitting in a shop, ready to strip?
Well, not for that reason, but they're there so they can do it.
Yeah, right.
You know,
it's interesting.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, okay. There you go. So that was like feedback from your viewers on, or something.
Yeah, it's a funny one
up.
because it's not what it seems. Yes, you're gonna have to wait regardless of what car it is.
Yeah.
Sure, some cars can be easy to get parts for. 70, yeah, there's plenty of places around that use 70s. Mining sector up in the Pilbara, yeah, sure. So that means that Newman's probably going to store a lot of parts.
Yep.
Shut up.
You would be hard pressed to go into a mine and ask them and stuff. There'll be a lot of negotiation happening there and a lot of red tape. So maybe not. It's a bit of you're winging it still, right? So if you're going to go to the effort to do that, you might as well go to Newman. And we're talking like if you're in the Pilbara and you break down.
Yep.
So, yeah. But let's say you had an F-250 or Ford Ranger or something like that. I think it's all going to end up in the same situation, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think out of all the cars I just spoke about, the Prado will probably be the worst one to break down out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Something like the Kia Tasman, when it first gets released here, I don't know what their parts are going to be like, but think about it. Kia have so many freaking cars. They're probably one of the best selling cars in Australia, but they got so many freaking cars. They got to have parts for all of them. Let's say their parts inventory is X amount of millions. Well, that means a smaller company that only has a couple of vehicles, let's say if Jeep only had 2 vehicles in Australia, they'd only need to have parts for those.
Yep.
And their budget might be a lot less, but they can get away with it. So let's say you've got a $2 million budget and you only got 2 vehicles in your fleet. The budget's probably going to be bigger than that though, but we're talking about INEOS. But then you might have Toyota and they might have a $20 million budget. But they've also got Camrys, RAV4s, 200s, 300s.
Yep.
Old 70, new 70, you know.
Yeah. Endless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So until something actually happens and you experience it yourself, I don't think you're going to gauge it. But I don't think that's the problem. I think it's how it's perceived. And I understand because that's how I perceived it to start with. But because I've really dived into this and had the conversation, yeah, it's actually looking a lot more favourable.
Yep. Yeah, righto.
I don't know who I'm going to call in Toyota to get parts. You know, at least with INEOS, I've got some numbers I can go, hey,
Yeah.
can we...
So is that the experience with INEOS though, because it's that smaller company, like the customer manufacturer sort of relationship is almost stronger because it's a smaller group?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the group, it's all about four-wheel driving. And it's, I guess some of these companies are going to attract people who are into the outdoor sort of space. Doesn't mean that everyone will be, but I just think they're more full drivey people, right? Whereas if you go to a Toyota dealership,
Yeah.
you're going to have
Mixed bag.
every freaking car under the sun.
Yeah.
And it's same with Ford and these other places. But if it's like a specific four-wheel drive place, that's obviously their niche.
So I know you you're not going to give me an answer, but I'm going to try and force one out of you. And the only thing that I'll let you consider is you can't decide between off-road and on-road. You're just picking one car. If you didn't have either of them right now, and we're picking between the two of the 76 or the INEOS, and the only thing you can take into consideration is the price. What would you be going for an overall all-rounder car?
To be honest, if I was going to use my brain, the INEOS Grenadier is the better car. It's the better car. The thing is, I bought the 76 not thinking I was going to keep it.
Yep.
And then I absolutely love that car.
Yep.
It's so light. I can, it's, I don't know. I get attached to some cars.
Yep.
And the thing is, had the INEOS not been a wagon, then I probably would have, explored the option of getting that cheaper price.
Yep.
Because had it been driven, they offer me, a slightly lower price to buy it. And I probably could negotiate a little bit more off it too. But already got, I knew I had the Prado coming as well.
Yep.
So, and they're kind of very similar wagons. That's where my decision was.
Yep.
And I think I've said numerous times, if it was a quartermaster, I'd probably be deep into my pockets.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of my decision, but it's funny. They are bloody expensive still. That's the one thing. Like even the station wagon is bloody expensive. So, but anyway,
It does come with everything you need, though.
it does. That's the thing.
You've got to put that much stuff on your 79.
Yeah, it does.
So to get the 76 to where it's at, it's probably pretty close on par with money wise. Look, if you take the wrap off, because it doesn't have wrap on the other car, they'll be pretty close, hey? But then if you go beyond that, I haven't got a steel bar on the rear. I mean, it's kind of steel, but it's not like steel that the Grenadier has. It's not like a bar meant for off-road.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a, when you compare price, it's kind of almost dumb to buy the 70. You got to buy the 70 for a specific reason, and that is to have a clean canvas you want to build out yourself. But one thing I realised as I was making this content was new car warranty. Every single thing you have on that INEOS from the get-go is all covered under vehicle warranty.
Maybe we just stop there.
We could keep going.
Because everything you're just saying to me is like, why did you not just pick an INEOS, you idiot?
You had an itch you needed to scratch.
I did. That was my purpose. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this way, Duggo. If there was no more V8s and you had the option between the 2.8 and the INEOS Grenadier, I'm pretty sure I know what you would have done.
Yeah, you do.
Because you wanted to scratch the V8 itch.
Yeah, that was the, yes.
And
yeah, you're dead on.
And I understand that. I get it.
Yeah. And I am loving it. I can't wait to crack into it. And I know I've got to spend a bit of money.
It's manual.
It's a manual. Yeah. And that was another story in itself.
It looks really good.
My 79.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the colour.
You finally have a license to have a mow.
Yes, I do now. I'm just letting it grow out to all my chest hair.
Yeah. Or your nipple hair.
Yeah, yes.
And now you can grow your mullet back.
Yet there's a bit of work to do there. Yeah, that's not as easy, that one. It's a long way back, let me tell you.
Takes a while.
All right, let's go to Around the Fire Pit, Jay Dolan.
Let's do it.
Thanks, Ronny.
G'day, fellas. Regan here. I'm just sitting in my Land Cruiser. I've just crossed over 100,000 kilometres. I'm sitting at 100,020 kilometres. A couple of podcasts back, Ronny said to send in a voice message when I hit that 100K mark. So I've been out bush for a few days, chasing camels and cows around and all the fun stuff. Just gotten back into Alice Springs. So I'm just getting ready to stock up to head back out. and roll around in the cow shit and fix barbed wire fences pretty much. And it's been hectic lately because it's over 40 degrees every day, so having a very hard time keeping up water to all the cattle and drinking more than the bores are supplying. So they pump solar during the day, then we have to chuck generators on at night to try to keep up the water. So it's all hands on deck, fun times, but I wouldn't want to be doing it in any other vehicle. I grew up with these and, grew up on the station with these and used to see my old man driving them around, so they got a special place in my heart. Obviously, there's other great vehicles out there, but, as far as a tool for the job, I absolutely love these. They are a great vehicle. Anyway, cheers, fellas. Take it easy.
See, Regan's just got me right back on the bandwagon straight away. When I needed someone to come in about a 79 and tell me all the good things, there it is.
Yeah, the timing was right there.
Yeah, he has done those 100,000 Ks real fast.
He's got a lot of land up there. He's travelling around.
He does. There's no short drive in Regan's world. But
I think Regan just hit the nail on the head for what most people think about these cars, right? Because a lot of people don't get why we buy these tin cans, right? But there's your reason.
Yeah, it suits his purpose perfectly, doesn't it?
Sorry, my email's pinging through to you guys.
No, I can't hear that, mate. You keep working. If one thing on Regan's channel, go and have a look because he's actually very informative about.
Outback Off-Road NT.
Yeah, Outback Off-Road NT. One thing he's very informative about is his Land Cruiser. Very honest, does a lot of his own stuff there and gives you great insight. Also, kind of cool to watch if you're not used to seeing station life and what that looks like and what Regan gets up to. Well worth a look. He put a pretty
it's very real
confronting video up the other day. For some people, it would be confronting. And I won't put any spoilers out, but there's stuff that they have to do out there that we just don't deal with in amongst the city. So if you want to be informed on station life, Regan has a great channel over there. It gives you all things Land Cruiser, all things station life. And yeah, great friend of the show. So don't mind pumping up his channel at all.
G'day gents, Jacob here. I started off as an OG Holden Cruise driving BackChat listener many years ago, but now I've seen the light and found my way to your podcast, and after a few RAV4s, I've recently acquired a 150 Prado. Anyway, my question relates to undercarriage rust protection for the Prado. We're heading up to Kununurra on a 6-week trip later this year, and I want to do my best to prevent any corrosion in the time we have the car, let's say for the next 5 years or so. So I'm keen to hear your thoughts on professionally applied long-term bitumenized coatings like end rust. Are they worth the investment? Or am I better off applying short-term coatings like Lanox regularly prior to my trips? Cheers. Keen to hear your thoughts.
Good to convert a BackChat listener.
BackChat followed along, found the 4-Drive podcast, jumped out of a cruise, bought a Prado, going to Kununurra for a 6-week trip. So he's pretty much could take my job.
Yeah, good to know we've got
he's more
good
into
to know
it
we've
than
got
I am.
more Duggos out there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Ronny, that's for you, buddy.
Is that what goes through your mind?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Convert them.
Yeah. Look, rust conversion, or not rust conversion, but rust protection.
Yeah, you're thinking conversion too, mate.
I've done none of that to any of my cars, but I have done the lanolin, the inox, and all that. And I find that because I do that, it forces me to check the car underneath. Is it worth doing the other stuff, the permanent stuff? Probably wouldn't hurt, but at what cost? I don't really know how expensive it is. You just got to really filter through what's good and what's bad. And I think maybe finding out what the mines use, or if there's like a mine that actually does use it. They probably don't, because they use the car to 100 Ks and 100,000 Ks and then they get rid of them. Yeah, I can't really answer that one. But I know with the electronic rust protection thing, there's too many dodgy or shit ones out there that if there are any good ones, well, they're going to be hard-pressed to believe. Like, I can't see myself trusting one of those. And it will take a very long time to test this out, you know what I mean? The 79 I had for 11 years. Now we've been through a lot of shit. And the cars before and before that. I just washed them all the time. The 79 was probably the worst looking chassis out of all the cars I've owned, but that's because 11 years. It's a lot of it. But yeah, hoses in the chassis, just keep it nice and clean. Just wash it as soon as you can, and then that'll eliminate most of your problems. But if you ever see a water truck on a gravel road out in the middle of nowhere, well, you're driving on salt water, and it'll be worse than the beach. Just FYI. They compact the roads out there, Duggo, with salt water.
Right.
So
I was a bit
the salt
confused by
water
that.
is used to compact and make these roads really smooth.
Yeah,
So
okay.
as you're driving over them, you're flicking up all the salty water.
Gotcha. Righto. I did not know that. So there you go. Jacob and I are both learning.
Hey, we all are, mate. I just had a quick Google, and End Rust is apparently a mining. They've got 50 years of experience in mine spec rust proofing treatments. The good ones are bituminous and based wax treatments, but the best ones are epoxy based treatments. And there's a few there, so that might be something worth looking at. But anyone in the mines that could tell us a bit more would be more than welcome. Send some stuff in, or what do you guys use for
The
underbody
INEOS
protection?
Grenadier comes out with a galvanised chassis.
Another winner.
Another reason to buy it. Duggo, you made a bad choice.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Hey guys, Ty here from the Gold Coast. Love the podcast. Always learning something new. Just a question for Ronny or for everybody else. I'm in the process of setting up my dual battery system, 2019 Prado. Like the idea of a slimline lithium battery, but I really want to hide it. Seen on read on Facebook pages, people put it on the false floor. But then there's the people saying there's a risk of fire hazard. The battery needs to breathe, needs to be, in fresh air, call it. Just wonder what your thought about that. If it's a good idea or not. Otherwise, where would the best place to put it? Second question is, what your thought about those really thin solar blanket that sticks to your bonnet? The really thin one. Are there any good? Just like the idea of that as well. And are they efficient? Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Great questions. You could do a whole podcast on just those two questions. Also.
Yeah.
Okay, so briefly, in terms of those, we'll start with the solar panels. Those little flexi solar panels. It's probably not the last choice that I would choose if I was going to go for a solar panel. You generally have to glue them down, and if they fail later, like depending on which ones you get, they are prone to failing more than those other normal square panels. I know they're quite convenient, but if you're going to mount one, then I'll mount it in a way where you have the mounting system there, and then if that panel fails, it's just a matter of swapping the panel out. Then maybe I would consider using those kind of panels. In regards to batteries, I'm leaning more towards these days of not fixing a lithium battery into a car. I prefer to have it as a removable box. Yes, I understand if it does catch on fire, it's going to be pretty unlikely that I'll be able to get it out of there anyway, but at least I have a chance though to get it out. If it's put away under a seat or something, if it does catch on fire, then but how often these things catch on fire? Probably unlikely it'll happen, but in the event of an accident or a rollover, something might pierce the battery. In that case, if you got a fire, you can't stop. So I reckon definitely be a bit careful where it's mounted. Be good to be able to access it and make sure there's nothing else in there. Yeah. That's what I would say.
Good morning, Liam. Good morning, Duggo, and good morning, Ronny. That is, if you boys are all there this time. Liam and Duggo, love that last episode. You guys killed it. don't be overly concerned about the content. It was the vibe. You guys had me in stitches, and it was just great to see the chemistry between you two lads, not overly concerned. And I think that's the key. Don't worry too much about what people think, and just be in the moment, be real, be authentic, be yourself, and your listeners will find you. And I've been listening since the start, guys, and it's just getting better. Hopefully see some guest speakers on there someday. That'd be nice too. And, if Ronnie's missing, maybe we can fill the void. And, just get out there on the weekends and enjoy it. I know you said you haven't been out much, and, being a dad or having the 9-to-5 grind does make it difficult. But, even if you can just spare 20, 30, 40 bucks a diesel, just get down your local beach, get out of town for a bit. It makes life that much more enjoyable. Hey, guys, absolutely loving the countryside. Me personally, I'm looking like I'm moving to Adelaide soon, so I'll be looking for some more local knowledge and some tips. So, Ronnie, I know you're WA based, but if you got any tips for me, mate, where to go over there, let me know. Track closures seem to be getting pretty bad. I was down Ugrup a couple of weeks ago, and they've closed off camping access to a few of the rivers and mouths down there.
That's the end of that one.
Oh, cut out.
That's a full one.
Bugger.
I will say, check out Wandering Oz. Mitch and Jess.
Yep.
They're in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Great Adelaideans.
Yeah.
Great content.
If I was going to suggest anywhere, I'd go to the Benelby Range. Yeah.
Benelby Range.
Yeah. And then just the rest of the... Oh, my God. What are ranges called there again?
Flinders.
I just had a mind blank. Flinders, yeah. Yeah, just go check out the rest of the Flinders range as well. But Benelby Range will probably be my first stop. It's still quite close, and you're right amongst the Flinders range, or ranges. And Arkarula is another really cool spot that's right up. So you will be going further away from Adelaide, but Benelby's close enough to Adelaide. You could easily get there in a number of hours. And on the way across, what do you reckon, boys? Should we send them to that spot where all the dead car wrecks are?
Yeah, that was good.
That's an elite spot.
That's
a great spot.
Good memories.
Even
there.
that Salt Lake.
Yeah,
UFO
take your time
sightings.
and do the Salt Lake, yeah. But SA's got it all, doesn't it, really? Like, I haven't done a lot of it, but I can't wait to do the Eyre Peninsula one day.
Yeah.
Need to do the Flinders, Benelby.
I've yet to have a look at that too.
Udendata, whatever that track is. That would be cool. I want to go to Mount Dare Hotel. I'm pretty sure that's in South Australia. I want to go to Robe.
Just.
Yeah, that's up on the corner country there. But I want to go to Robe as well. Beachport to Robe, they reckon, is just one of the greatest sort of, all the little tracks through the dunes, beach run. Very, very popular at the
Robe is cool.
At the time, long weekends and stuff like that. A lot of Victorians go there too. But SA, real mixed bag. I feel like it's got it all. And hopefully they keep most of it open. But anyway. Hopefully. And thank you for the feedback, Jonesy. Unreal. That made me feel better about myself.
He's
thank you.
Curry Cruiser. Got the Curry Mahindra.
Yes. Yeah, cool. Yep. The Curry Cruiser. I've got the Curry Cruiser going a bit now too. Yeah. Not quite like his,
You got a
but
sandy cruiser.
Yeah, sandy colour Curry.
Sandy Curry
Something
Cruiser.
Like
Hey, boys, my camera's pretty low here, eh?
Well, mate, you are right on time, because that is the Four Wheel Drive podcast powered by Tyrepower. Music by the Southern River Band to see us out with Let It Ride. The Four Wheel Drive podcast on Instagram. All our episodes over on BackChat's YouTube. Jaden, I'm pretty much almost done, so you don't even need to really play it. Patrons, stick around. I'll have a quick chat. Ronnie's about to drop out, so he's going to fly merch, voice messages, and the Ultimate Four Wheel Drive over at the website that I mentioned at the start. So if you forget what that was, go back there and have a look. Ronnie, thanks for joining us, mate.
Thank you. Thanks for making this work. That was cool.
We've done a good job there. That was all thanks to our friend Jadon down the back there.
Cheers, boys.
Let out a lot of yawns throughout the session, so hopefully that one went all right.
Tiring day.
Cheers, guys. Big night.